I want to talk about crypto because I'm very excited about the crypto industry and what it means and what's going on in the near future. I don't know how much you know about this, and quite frankly, you don't have to know anything about it. You know, just be interested and be curious. That's all I ask. What do you know about crypto? Just out of curiosity.
If I remember correctly, cryptocurrencies are limited resource currencies online entirely, similar to how we use USD via PayPal and our banking system. Only there is not an unlimited supply. They're shared around. They're considered untraceable, kind of like Federal Reserve notes of the internet. So their intrinsic value goes up and down compared to other currencies, and that people don't like them because they're unregulated.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. You should say that. because I have noticed over the last couple of days the prices of all of them have all decided to take a dip, and I think a lot of that has to do with some new potential regulation that they're trying to push. They're trying to regulate the exchanges. Specifically to try to prevent fraud, I guess. I would argue that fraud's a good thing for, crypto and stuff like that, because especially early on in the game, it allows everybody to kind of figure out how the hackers are getting in and how they're figuring out and how it gives everybody to create an opportunity to create a solution without the force of the state coming in and saying, hey, we'll solve it for you, because we know how well that works out every time. Anyway, that being said, that's kind of a side note, to be honest. But what I'm really excited about is there's a number of crypto projects that are going on. Blockchain projects rather, that are going on right now that I'm really excited about. That they're taking this concept of the blockchain and doing so much cool shit with it. We've got it's more than currency. Okay, that's just one application. Now, the best way I can explain it to people so far is that when you look at the blockchain is like your operating system, like your Windows operating system or like your Android operating system, and then all of like the cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin specifically, or like all the applications that are built to run on the Ethereum blockchain are like your apps or your programs that you run on your operating system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So far? You with me so far?
So far.
So one of the apps that I have heard of that I'm really excited about, and even though I don't really care about sports or football at all, is they're taking this idea of fantasy sports and they're applying it to the real world, where instead of being an armchair quarterback and just sitting there in your living room and yelling at the team and telling them what they should have fucking done, like, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't do, instead of doing that, you can actually hop on your app and through participation on the particular blockchain through a tokenized system, you can participate in the game by voting on the different moves that people can make. You can vote on the team players that join. You can vote. They've actually already done a pilot where they have a real world team playing up where I believe it's in Oregon or Washington. I can't remember the specifics, but the idea is that eventually, with a big enough community, that you could have a bunch of teams that are community owned, decentralized teams. And the more you participate and the more correct calls you make that end up earning, say you make a call that earns the team 6 yards, all of a sudden you get those stats added to your profile, and your profile becomes just a little bit stronger in terms of your voting power. It's pretty fascinating the way this is working out. And like I said, I don't care about football at all, but I would definitely help support a project like this because I can see the great potential and the great amount of market potential here. It's insane. It's insane. Ooh.
It reminds me a lot of what some people do on Twitch. They open up choices within games and how they play the game to the chat. The chat votes or straw polls, and they do a different thing than how they would normally do a playthrough. And it's quite interesting, but it's not as fiscally interactive.
Right. Now Twitch is like that, except I think what you're talking about, anybody could join the stream and participate in the voting process. You don't have like different levels of participation, or you don't level up your character, so to speak, in order to gain a stronger amount of the voting power in this case.
True.
So that's what makes the people who are like into it and really paying attention to what the team's been doing and what the strong suits of the players are, and all the strengths and weaknesses and stuff. That's what allows them to have more voting power. And then the people who are just entering, they can vote also, but they're not going to have as much influence over the general course of the game until they have accumulated more experience, so to speak, for their own. And what I thought was cool is if the team ends up winning, you end up winning. Like, you could actually earn money by helping your team come to win. Like, it's a much bigger team now, and everybody gets to share in the profits.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I was distracted a little bit.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's just one of many potential things that I've found that is pretty exciting in the crypto industry. There's a number of different projects, and that one just particular has stuck out in my mind as one that I think will be a great bridge to get people into the crypto world instead of coming through the currency pathway. Let me throw out another idea for use of the blockchain technology that you might be interested in. Keep in mind, all of these are built or are being built currently on the Ethereum blockchain, which gives me a lot of. I'm not a financial advisor, so take this with a grain of salt, please. But I do strongly feel like as these programs come out in the next coming year, which they are set to do here in the next couple months, I think the Ethereum blockchain is going to see a huge resurgence and become an honest to goodness serious competitor with Bitcoin. Right now, they're sitting usually around 10% of what the value of a Bitcoin is, and I feel like in this year they're gonna reach parity at some point. That being said, one of the applications that somebody's building on it is a game called Crypto Hunt. Now, this game has been modeled after the game Pokemon Go. Now, you remember that and how big of a freaking deal that was?
Oh, that was like 3 solid months of gaming, of everyone doing it, everyone complaining about it.
And people were getting off their asses, and they were getting out in the world, and they were talking with people, and there was like a community around it for a little while until people like started dying from walking out in traffic.
Or trespassing, or breaking the
law. Idiots. At any rate, that being said, there's this one that's called Crypto Hunt. And then their idea is to create these little riddles and treasure hunts kind of scenario that's based on the kind of Pokemon Go platform, where you can go out and you can start hunting for crypto, and you can actually solve riddles and go to different places, and you can actually earn actual crypto, spendable crypto that you can either use in game for power-ups or whatever the case may be, or you can use it to trade with other players in game, or you can just cash out and trade it in for US dollar or your other favorite form of crypto. I was like, that sounds phenomenal. I would love to play that. One of the other last crypto platform I'm going to bring up before we move on to the next topic is there is a group putting together another program called Spank Chain. And what do you think that means when you hear that? I see the look on your face.
There's a couple places that I go with when I hear that, and they're all sexual.
And you would be correct. That is exactly what it is. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, the porn industry is interested in crypto. Let's see what they have to offer. And
if you look at it was early part of 2017, Pornhub was cracking down on people getting viruses and protecting people's privacy by making anonymous viewing even more robust, for lack of a better term. So there's a bunch of memes about it that a private organization peddling in somewhat questionable content is doing more for people's privacy than the federal government and the FCC combined with ISPs.
Right now, one of the problems in the porn industry is with the cam girls. When you pay them right now, you're paying the website. The website is going through a payment provider, and the payment provider is taking their cut. The website's taking their cut. And by the time your payment gets all the way down to the actual girl you're watching, or guy, I don't care what you're into, whatever. Once you get down to that level, they're not really getting a whole lot of that money. I want to say they're getting around 5 to 10 cents for every dollar you spend on that. It's not a lot at all.
It sounds more like exploitation than capitalism.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it might be capitalism, but just with a poor solution. But problem is that they can't use things like PayPal or anything like that because PayPal, it goes against their terms of service. So as soon as they figure out that they're doing adult service type things, then they're shut down immediately. So basically, there's one major payment processing center that will actually handle or deal with this industry. Now, SpankChain, what it aims to do is make it so that people who are watching your videos can actually pay the girls directly. And I think that there's a small fee for the website that they're hosted on and stuff like that. You know, everybody gets paid, but it's definitely a lot more money than you would have made going the other route. So it's pretty neat. And if it actually does work out and the porn industry takes off as a result, you know, I'm just saying Ethereum could skyrocket up, and your little SpankChain tokens if that's what you're into, if you want to invest money in those specifically.
I was not expecting to be discussing this Wednesday night, but this is now the second weirdest conversation of the week.
No, it's just, I just wanted to highlight, you know, everybody hears about this blockchain and crypto or you got that? Okay. Yes. Everyone wants to talk about blockchain and crypto technology and cryptocurrency and all that stuff, and they think about the applications in the financial sector, the actual money aspect of it. And I just want to try to point out that, yeah, there's going to be a lot more applications of this than you can even imagine. Like, this thing is going to disrupt so many, like a ridiculous amount of different services and stuff.